National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Appreciate you guys coming aboard. What an absolutely huge 2 days it's been for the Philadelphia Eagles and also for the National Football League. Cutdown days are always like this because player movement is everywhere. Teams are filling out their practice squad rosters, the bottom 1% of their 53-man roster, 47 active for the Sunday games. So there's a lot of maneuvering around. Obviously, a deal was just cut between the Vikings and the Eagles. We'll get to that here in a minute. Chris Landry from Landry Football will join us at the bottom of this hour. We will ask him about CJ. We'll ask him about this recent deal that just went down between the Eagles and the Vikings and Jalen Reagor. And we will talk to Chris Landry about the entire Philadelphia Eagle roster and the NFC East. So it's been a very busy 48 hours for Howie Roseman, the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles, to say the least here. And just a couple minutes ago, the Eagles sent Jalen Reagor to the Vikings in exchange for the 2023 seventh-round pick and a 2024 conditional pick that could be a fourth-rounder. Now, if it falls apart and he doesn't meet certain incentives, it will go down to a fifth-rounder. So you're looking at Jalen Reagor getting a new opportunity at a new zip code. There's no question here, too, with Reagor. Defeated in Philly. It just wasn't going to happen. And I believe he allowed a lot of the noise to get inside his noggin, and it really affected his play, his attitude. I mean, it was not working. We saw that for the last 18 months. It just wasn't working. And Philadelphia was trying to do everything they could to unload the kid. Now, does he go to Minnesota with a new leash on life here? You're playing now with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. Could he be a great number 3? Opportunity is going to be there for them. The Vikings love to throw the football. They love to throw the football. So there's going to be an opportunity. Will he take the opportunity this time that he wasted in Philadelphia? Because now, get this, he's not going to be asked to be a first-round pick in Minnesota. You know what he is now? Right now, he is a seventh-round pick. He has gone from a first-round pick to a seventh-round pick in Minnesota's eyes. That's all they surrendered for him, a seventh-round pick. So it's really no skin off the Minnesota Vikings if he fails. It's not. Okay? It's not a 7 and a 5th for a potential number 1 guy a couple of years back to turn his career around. Basically, Minnesota's giving him a second lease on life here to have a chance to play in this league. You're not going to be a 1. You're not going to be a 2. You're going to be a 3 in Minnesota. And it was right for the Philadelphia Eagles to move on from him. You were giving a free roster spot to a guy who doesn't deserve to be on the team. Plain and simple. Okay? Plain and simple. Xander said it too a couple minutes ago before we even went on the air. Hey, number 5 wideout, really? We're talking more special teams now than we are talking about a guy who's going to play a lot. What was he potentially going to get this year when it came to targets? 1, 2 a game? It's wasted assets. Send them somewhere else, get something in return. And by the way Howie's been using those 5, 6s, and 7th round picks to kind of move around and get some assets to fill some of the needs on the team, he's actually covered his ass numerous ways here. So, before I would go a 7th round pick. Hey, Jordan Mailata was at that pick. So nowadays, we're not talking about a 12th rounder any longer. We're talking about draft choices that may turn into something. Like I said, Jordan Mailata was a 7th round pick, and he's one of the top offensive tackles in the game. So again, it's good for both. They both move on, and they both begin anew, and it's great. And by the way, can I tell you why I think that this deal was really something that the Eagles could afford to do? Zach Pascal's better than I thought. He's actually better than I thought. I had no idea who he was. And when Nick Sirianni made the suggestion to Howie that they go and get him, nobody knew who he was. He's actually better than I thought. You know, that's a theme this year, too, with many of the guys that Howie went out and got and has put on the team and upgraded the roster. Make no mistake about it. Okay? Dallas got a 6th for Cooper. So again, yeah, no, I'm not dissing on the 7th rounder and potentially a 4th rounder. Sending Jalen Reagor to the Minnesota Vikings. Everybody needed to move on. The Eagles needed to move on from him, and he needed to move on from the Eagles. Maybe this gives him an opportunity to succeed. I don't think anybody was sitting here just wishing for Jalen Reagor to suck. Nobody does. You want people to have success in life. At least I do. It just wasn't happening in Philadelphia, and it was never going to happen, especially when they went out and got Devontae Smith last year. You knew that the writing was on the wall. They were moving on from him. If Jalen Reagor pans out, there is no Devontae Smith. There is no Devontae Smith on the team. Picking, right. He gets a chance at redemption. Plus, you get a chance to see the Eagles in week 2. We'll see. Again, do I think that he's going to take advantage of this opportunity? May I be candid? As of August 31st, I just don't think he's good enough. I think this was a player that was over-evaluated. I don't think he's good enough. Now, can he be a 3 or 4? Yeah. But he was overdrafted. This guy was a 5th or 6th round draft pick. Okay? He wasn't a first rounder. Howie misgauged on this one here, and his evaluation was off with his team. Happens. And it happens to everybody, by the way. This is not something you go, oh, Howie, it happens to everybody. You overdraft somebody. How many times do we see that? Look at Baker Mayfield. The Cleveland Browns, you're telling me you don't think that they overdrafted Baker Mayfield, the number 1 overall selection, and you turn around and get a 6th pick for him? Come on, man. That's the story of the league. Look at a guy like Jordan Mailata. He's under-evaluated. Look at a guy like Jason Kelsey. Look at a guy like think about some of the players that you've seen just go on to brilliant careers. Look at Derrick Henry. You think Derrick Henry's a 2nd-round draft choice? Really? Yeah, not me, dude. That guy's a top 3 pick. And he lasted all the way until the 2nd round. So again, it happens. So Jalen Reagor now is a member of the Minnesota Vikings, and they will see both Justin Jefferson and Jalen Reagor in week 2 at Lincoln Financial. So we move on from that. Don't forget, Chris Landry will be with us, former NFL scout from Landry Football. We'll talk to him about this roster and all the moves that we've seen over the last 48 hours here. I want to start the show off by doing this. I do not want to ever hear on this program or anybody's take tell me that the Philadelphia Eagles need to knock the dust off and the rust off as they get ready for the Detroit Lions. You better beat the living shit out of that team in week 1. You better play lights out defense. You need to run that football team off Ford Field. You need to set a precedent, an attitude. You need to send a message to the rest of the league in that opening week. I don't want to hear any shit about, that game's going to be close. Understand that it's a road game and the Lions have gotten better. I don't want to hear any of that. Super Bowl contenders are Super Bowl contenders in week 1 and in week 18. I don't want to hear any of that. None of it. You do not get an opportunity to knock the rust off when you are a Super Bowl contending team. Act like it 24/7. Champions act like champions all the time.